Slimehouse TV, myself Theo Kane, Ricky Malik on cam, and welcome to a very special episode of All Figured Out. So today we're in a place called Video Nightmares. This is basically a temporary pop-up shop that we've put together for the month of October just to celebrate Halloween and to promote Celluloid Scream's film festival, which is popping off at the end of this month. I can't wait for it, it's going to be awesome. We've basically set up our very own old school VHS rental store, and we're going to do a lot of videos in here talking about VHS rentals and cover art and that kind of thing, but today is specifically an All Figured Out episode because while we're here I brought down quite a few of my old horror toys from the 80s and early 90s, so we're going to get straight into some. We also talked a lot when I reviewed the Commando toy about how back in the day they'd bring out toys and cartoon series of films that children shouldn't have been watching, and this is like a prime example of that. So we're going to get into some Nightmare on Elm Street collectibles. So the first one I'm going to show you is one that's absolutely bonkers. So check this. We've got a Freddy Krueger stick-up toy. This is like a thing that you stick up on the wall. I've never opened it, so I don't know exactly what you're supposed to do with this thing, but just check the face on that. It's fucking bizarre. It's like a little deformed mutant baby Freddy Krueger, like a little cute version. They tried to make Freddy Krueger, who is a child murderer, like one of the most infamous slashers of all the 80s slashers, into a cute little deformed baby toy, and this one you stick on your window in your kid's bedroom or in your car, but it's fucking weird. I got this at a toy fair at Doncaster. It's one I'd been looking at for a long time, and then I finally got one on the card. Because I've got all these figures carded, I kind of like to get them all on the card, and so far I've been pretty successful in getting them never been opened. Next up, we've got something that I did actually show on this show before. I showed it because I got it in Paris. So the box was mashed up, it was sun bleached, the bubble is like yellowed and a bit cracked, but and do you know what, it wasn't even cheap. This is the funny thing, it wasn't even cheap, but I just saw it and I'm like, I need it. It's heavily been sun bleached, but it's basically a Freddy pulverized stress toy, squishy. It's not squishy anymore. If you touch it now, because there's a little crack in the bubble, it's actually rock hard. It's like a brick now, and I don't think there'd ever be a way to make that go back to being soft. So originally this was a toy that was really, really squishy. You could throw it about and it was like a stress squishy toy, but not anymore. Now it's like a brick. If you threw that at your sibling now, you'd probably fucking kill them. Unfortunately, it's got a bit of yellowing on the bubble. If you see the bubble there, there's a bit of yellowing, and the actual colour of it should be vibrant blue, red, yellow, and it really isn't anymore because someone's obviously kept that in a window. I get the feeling that this was in a shop window for a long time and the sun got to it, and that's why it's kind of fucked it up, but it didn't make me like it any less. Eventually, I would like to get one that is not so damaged, but I had to get it while I was there. And it's funny because he's in like a hip-hop stance, kind of like towards the end of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors onwards, and especially when we got to like Freddy's Dead, the 3D Freddy Krueger movie. Freddy were kind of put across as like a comedic character. He weren't really scary anymore, and he was kind of like an anti-hero. People liked Freddy Krueger. They weren't scared of him anymore. He did a hip-hop track with the Fat Boys.
Fred Krueger the myth, or Fred Krueger the man. It doesn't matter because I'm still rapping about him, understand? So sit back, check, I'm gonna bust the rhyme. Grab a hold of your face, it's Krueger time.
It's time for Freddy. See, I'm a popular guy. If you don't know yet, you're gonna find out why.
We've got these Freddy Spitballs. So back in the 80s, you know how much I love Mad Balls. Mad Balls were like a crazy thing that kids just loved. They were basically a gross out toy head, like a severed head squished into the shape of a ball, and there were lots of knockoffs. There was the original Mad Balls, and then there were lots of toys that jumped on the fad, and this was definitely one of them. These are Freddy Spitballs. So basically you fill these with water, you squirt your little sister, you get done off your mum, and it says it's got a scary 18-foot squirt. And it's funny because you get Freddy, but then you also get a victim. You just get like a screaming victim with a claw mark slashed down his eye, which is fucking funny. And he looks a bit like Pee Wee Herman. I'm not sure why, but it looks a bit like Pee Wee Herman. And it's also got that classic Freddy Krueger promo photo on there, which is awesome. I love this card art, and if you turn it on the back, it actually gives you instructions how to fill it. So to fill, just squeeze your spitball, release it underwater, and then to shoot, just squeeze your spitball to shoot. The harder you squeeze, the further the spit. And then, so if we've got the Freddy one, it's only right that we've got the Jason one. Jason's my favourite 80s slasher by far, but there was nowhere near as much Jason merchandise as there was Nightmare on Elm Street back in the day. Friday the 13th, even though it was just as big, they just didn't market it like they did Freddy. Maybe because Jason didn't talk and that kind of thing, you weren't as quirky. They couldn't really do like a talking Jason doll and things like that. But these are fucking awesome. Again, 18-foot squirt. We're keeping it on a nice level playing field for Freddy and Jason. And he again has got a victim. And this one looks a bit like that president that no one likes, in with the blonde hair. He looks a bit like that, his victim, which is quite funny. And this looks like it came out just after part 6 maybe. Let me look. Oh no, so judging by the artwork on it, part 7, because we've got Jason there from part 3, and then we've got Jason from part 7. And the way we know it's part 7 is because he's got the smash in his hockey mask with his teeth showing, and he's very zombified, and that's a signature of Friday the 13th part 7. And then on the back, if we look at the artwork again, it's got like a little bit of a little bit of a diagram. How to fill up your spitball and squirt it at your sister or your brother. So the last 2 are really fucking cool. This figure I got actually sent by a Don't Flop fan, someone that used to watch my rap battles. He got in touch with me and says, do I want this Max FX figure? And I was like, fuck yes, I fucking want that so much. That was like a holy grail item for me at the time. This has got a crazy story. So this is not actually a Freddy figure. It's an effects artist called Max FX. It's made by Matchbox, and they were gonna make a dude who was a makeup effects artist, and you would get different outfits for him, a bit like a Captain Action doll. And he was quick change artist and the master of special effects. So inside you got Max FX, who is a pretty like basic, boring looking dude, but then you get a Freddy mask that's 2 parts. You get Freddy's hand, Freddy's glove, his hat. He's got some boots there, his famous striped jumper and his trousers. But parents actually complained, so this is the only one they ever made. So if you turn it round, you can see on the back they were going to do Frankenstein, they were going to do Dracula, the alien, the xenomorph from Aliens, and Freddy. And also I found a video online of the dude that made these showing a suitcase that he's got of all the prototypes that he wanted to release, and there was like a Gill man in there, there was a Jason, so it would have been fucking awesome. But parents complained, as parents do, and this is the only one that they ever made. But how fucking cool is that? Imagine a full line of these guys. Like, I'd be losing my shit and buzzing out. But the fact that they only ever made one kind of gives it like a crazy story. And then finally, definitely the best to last, even though they're all fucking cool, this is another one that was a pure holy grail item, and my friend Booms found me this in a toy shop. I think it might have been in Leicester or something random. He found a toy shop and he got in touch with me while I was at my old job, and he sent me a picture and he's like, yo, do you want this? And I was like, yeah. And it was 90 quid. And this guy Booms is like the biggest haggler in the world. Like, I was brought up on car boots on market stalls. My dad used to actually get annoyed at me and he'd tell me off if I bought things for full price and I didn't knock them down. Anything I bought, he'd be like, how much for that? I'd say a £5. He'd go, did you knock them down? No, you should have knocked them down. So I was raised to knock people down, but nobody knocks people down like Booms. So this should have been 90 quid and he got it for 65, and it's the talking Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger, which is fucking bizarre. Again, this is a toy that effectively a kid would take to bed and cuddle with a child killer in bed, and I was the kind of kid that would do that because I was a fucking bizarre youth. And if you look on the side, we've got all different versions of Freddy. We got him there from the first film where he's in that alleyway in that famous scene. We've got him there when he's dressed in the tuxedo. That's also a very classic Freddy. Again, this is made by Matchbox, and if you look at the top, it says ages 8 and up. So this was intended for kids who are 8 to take to bed and cuddle and go to sleep. Someone that kills children in their fucking dreams. Let's see if we can get him to talk. I'm going to put the mic to his back and see if we can get him to talk. So you hear that? He does like, he talks quick. So the way that we try and counter that is if you pull the cord, and I learnt this from old talking Commander Action Man dolls, you let it go slowly. Welcome to Elm Street. So you just pull it slow. Let's be friends. Fucking crazy. I don't know how many things it says, but the fact that a kid would take this to bed at 8 years old is just fucking amazing, and it's just another reason why I fucking love the 1980s. This is all figured out. Thanks for watching. Shout to Malik on cam. Shouts to Video Nightmares. If you want to come down to this shop, it is open until the 31st of October and then it shuts forever. It is literally just a pop-up shop, and it's not even a shop. You can't buy tapes, you can't rent them. It's just an exhibition to celebrate all the cool artwork, and we're going to be doing lots more filming in here. But for now, this is all figured out on Slimehouse TV. I'm Theo Kane. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, let me know which one yours were the favourite and what else you'd like to see on this show. But for now, we're gone.